you're more familiar than I, perhaps, with the capability, the speed and the efficiency with which the Italian civil service and the bureaucracy operates. Practically, can you see how these funds will be distributed efficiently and then ultimately their disbursement monitored to make sure that they're not siphoned off by corrupt civil servants or the mafioso?
Yeah, I think the plan put together by Draghi and his government is a good plan. I think it's convincing, and there are safeguards and control systems and a proper governance, I would say, that should guarantee that funds are spent well. But actual implementation, actual delivery is really what matters, and so we will see whether this is actually the case. For now, we have a convincing and ambitious plan on paper, but delivering is another story. Keep in mind that it's not just a matter of passing pieces of legislation through Parliament. It's also a matter of issuing, implementing, enabling legislation, enabling decrees by the ministries. It's also a matter of delivering on the ground. It's a matter of preventing courts from derailing the reforms, as it happened in the past, trying to convince all social partners that this is the right direction to go. And clearly, this is a massive task. So I think we are just at the beginning now. I think we have to monitor very closely how the situation unfolds.
Do you also feel that this is a pivotal moment for the Eurozone and that successful implementation of the Draghi plan really is key to the ongoing survival of the Eurozone? I've seen a lot of commentary along these lines. Do you agree with the assessment?
Yeah, I think so, because Italy is the big elephant in the room. I mean, if Italy delivers, basically the investment plan in Europe is successful. So I think Italy has a big responsibility, together with Spain and other countries, to deliver in a proper way and make sure that the reforms actually hit the ground and are effective. I have to say that given that when I was at the Treasury, I was responsible for the technical preparation of the reform plan. For the first time, the reform plan is forward-looking. There are very much strict commitments, which was not the case in the past. And the reason for that is that there are money attached, funds attached. And that is the big change, which makes me a bit more optimistic than in the past on the effectiveness of this plan.
Lorenzo, what's the worst case scenario, though, if Mario Draghi fails here?
Well, the worst case scenario is that, Draghi fails to deliver. There is a new government which is less committed to reforms. And then you end up with the usual problems that Italy has. So lack of growth, lack of reforms, and lack of economic delivery. So I think that would be a big problem for Europe, because having a big country like Italy, which has traditionally been a net contributor to the European budget, now having to absorb European funds, but without much success, then it would change the nature of the Union. And that would actually have also consequences for the future of integration. So I think it's a big responsibility, not only in Europe, but especially on the countries that need to deliver on the ground.
Lorenzo, I want to turn the focus to human capital, because part of this recovery plan for Italy is about investing in people, and it's roughly about 14% of the whole plan for funding in schools, universities and research projects. We know in developing countries it's particularly important to move workers up the value chain, but what are the implications for salaries in Italy and the type of productivity we can expect in a few years' time if we do see this investment into education services?
Well, that's a very good question, because, as you know, there is a need to have quick results, because that would actually show voters and public opinion that the plan works. But at the same time, you have also to invest for the future. And investing for the future effectively means investing in education. And I think that is absolutely crucial. Investing in education means preparing the ground for enhancing, the quality of jobs and also on wages, as you mentioned. But that's a long-term, goal. I think in the meantime, it is absolutely essential to strengthen the foundation of a change in the education system, which would make the economy more competitive and address also the problem of productivity. As you mentioned, productivity, and especially total factor productivity, is at the root of the Italian disease. And so that needs to be addressed over time in a very effective and forceful manner.